Hi, in this video we'll have a look at a feature introduced in Java 10 known as local type inference. Java 10 bought a keyword called var, which is helpful in reducing a little bit of boilerplate code which you use in Java every day. Also helps you make your Java code a bit leaner. Let's have a look at the code now. So we have a class called type inference. The first thing you see here is I have commented private var person equal to new object. So one of the rule is only allowed on local variables. This is a class level variable, so it will throw an error if I remove this. So if you bring your pointer here, it actually gives you the error var is not allowed here. Next, you can have a var defined inside a static block, no problem here. Also inside an instance block you can use the var keyword, no problem, perfectly valid. Next, you can actually define the return type of map.off. So map.off came in Java 9. It gives you a map of whatever you give the key and value as. But you have no idea what the class is returned here. So here, if you really see, you get a immutable collections map1. I've never used such a thing. So generally you have no idea of these classes which are internally used by Java and are known as non-denotable class. Think of it as you can actually give an entire anonymous class here and the same thing will work. So here you can give an anonymous class and where numbers will work. Think about it. You have no idea of the return type of an anonymous class. That's why it's anonymous. But you can use a var to denote the type. Next, you can easily define a new object with var. One of the rules is you always need to initialize a var. If I remove the initialization, it will give me an error saying that you need to give an initial variable value. Cannot use var on variable without initializer, so you have to initialize it. One of the things here is if you see you have a character, yes, no, you can actually typecast a character into int. This typecast is very helpful and it will come to your rescue a number of times. This is perfectly valid. So if you see you have in the result you have y here and the y is ASCII value 121 after typecasting it to an int. Next, this is interesting. If I remove the type mentioned here, you get a nice squiggly red line saying array initializer needs an explicit target type. So the compiler is unable to decide what the return type of this block of code is. So it looks like a list of primitive numbers or integers. So you have to put it here. So you are telling the compiler that it's a integer array and everything works fine now. The var keyword can be used inside a for loop, no problem here. This is local scope and printing here gives you 1, 2, 3. Next, this is an interesting one. If you define a var list, I say new array list, no problem, everything is fine. The compiler knows that list type is an array list, but you can add a integer, you can add a string, you can add whatever you want because you have not given a type here. If you want to restrict such a thing, you need to give a type here. If you give a string, now the compiler knows this is actually a string array list. It will tell you don't add numbers, add strings only. So let me remove this and everything is fine. You will get a array list of 1 and 0. Last example here is a simple one. Var dog is equals to new dog. Dog.eat, sleep, breathe. We have a class called dog. Extends animal, implements living. It has its own sleep implementation. Eat comes from here. It has actually overridden breathe. So this part is also implemented. So all these things work fine. Animal is eating, Diamond is sleeping, it's a dog name, and Rocky needs to breathe. But one thing you cannot implement here is this. So remember, var is compile time. It doesn't work good with polymorphic stuff. So this is unimplementable using var. So that's a small introduction to var. Thanks for watching.